Hello, this is Matt's Amazing Mazes, and I have something for my viewers and for my subscribers, a fabricating project that I'm doing. In this how-to video, I will be fabricating by making a stand for small devices, especially for the Nintendo Switch Lite. So here are the step-by-step stuff you need to get for this project to start out with. First of all, what I'm going to do is promote my Facebook page. So find Matt's Amazing Mazes on Facebook. And also, as you already know, YouTube, since you're already on it. That's no big issue, but Facebook is my other social media site where you can further explore Matt's Amazing Mazes content on the Facebook side of it. So, okay, what you're going to need is to make this stand, this fabricated stand, is sometimes you can find things in everyday household like stuff that you're not using. However, if you don't have these stuff, then you can go to like the Goodwill or Salvation Army. They might have it, or yard sale or whatnot. If you want to find the material at a cheaper price. And then again, you can go to like eBay or Amazon and so forth to find these products. Now, some of these products you may have, but certain specific things you need for this project, you have no choice but to go on Amazon or any other online store to get them. Okay, for an example, is this right here. This is a tripod. This is essential for the stand that we are making for your device. And as you can see here, there are magnets drilled into each foot of each leg of the tripod stand. Now this is essential especially for the Nintendo Switch if you are using a wired handheld controller, because the weight of the wired controller will make the stand flop back and everything will go the other opposite direction, and it won't be stable. Just how the setup is, it's just the way it is. So what you need to screw in these magnets is, first you're going to need a steak knife, flat bladed, not jiggity edge, because you don't want to hurt yourself. Have to have a sharp pointy tip. Is essential for this project. So imagine, hypothetically, there's no magnet there. There's no screw there, hypothetically. Okay, let's say there's no screw or magnet there. So what you need to do is you need to go to the foot of the tripod leg, make wriggle in a spot where you can drill or treadle a path into a drilling path into the foot. You just keep on working at it like that easy peasy, you know, do it easy, do it safe, do it gentle. I mean, don't overwork it too hard because you don't want to crack the foot. You crack the foot, it's game over. To the plan I'm trying to explain to you. What you need to do is you need to work it in nice and gentle. It will take probably less than 10 minutes to screw in that hole, and what you need to do is you need to screw it into a point where the tip of the knife will be coming out where the screw is that's already screwed into where the magnet is. But you don't want the tip to be that much out like the screw is that's already screwed into the magnet. You just want to see a small little tip reveal itself to the surface of the outside of the leg. So once you do that, you take the magnet. Here's an example of the magnet and the screw. See, the magnet is hollow in the middle. It's designed to be a mounted magnet. And what you do is you take the screw, you stick it in the hole, and what you do is you screw in the screw into the already made hole with the knife, but this time you do it with a screwdriver. Get the screwdriver into the screw, and you screw it in this way until it tightens up the magnet into the foot of the tripod. And you do it snug and you do it tight. You don't do it too tight where it strips. You don't do it really, really tight. You want to avoid that, but snug and tight. Just a little bit tight, not too much, until you get it on the tripod foot. And you do it for each leg and so forth. And then after you're done with that step of the project, you get like this right here is a phone stand mount for like a car. I unscrewed the whole thing. It was like a mechanical marvel. It was complicated parts and stuff. You had to mount to the car to get your phone on there. However, this had 3 heads. This one I cut off because, as an example, this is how it'll work for your device. If you had that third head on there, it'll obscure the device's screen where you can't see it. That's why I cut it off right here. But like I said, if for this setup, it's for the wired controller only. But if you want if you just want to use it just as it is, like this, it'll work too, you know, but you can use a wireless controller. But the way I'm setting this stand up is made for a wired controller, because if I just set this on a table like this and use a wired controller, because of the dimensions of the Nintendo Switch itself and the way it's lowered, the cord will get in the way and it'll be like it'll mess up on you. It won't stay exactly where it is because of the cord. You see, that's how it is with the Nintendo Switch. Always been that way. That's why a lot of stands always failed with a wired cord in its process, because it's always in the way of the stand or whatnot. But I'm making this fabricated stand video for you so you can have an idea of what you can make, so you can use a wired controller without it getting in the way of the stand. That is, if there's any lovers of Nintendo Switch gamers out there that likes to use the wired controller instead of the wireless controller. So yeah, so you want to find a mount that has a screw in it, and the other stand of the mount that has a female insertion where you can screw in the tripod, kind of like this right here. It will screw in like this. You need to use some form of intelligence. They have to be smart, really smart, to come up with ideas like this, to fabricate and to align different products together that doesn't go together. So this will go in like this. I think this is as far as it can go without it stripping. And let me see here. It'll be kind of like this. Now, if you hopefully you can see this on the video. If not, then I will lean my camera further into the table so you can possibly see this. Okay, now the reason for the magnets is because if you were to put a Nintendo Switch on there like this, it'll lean back, fall down, and that won't be any good because of the weight of the Nintendo Switch is heavier than the stand itself. This is like easy peasy. This is very lightweight. So the reason for the magnets is for these metal plates I have here. These square plates. And I'm going to tell you where to find the magnets. First of all, you need to find the magnets at Amazon. It's called Neosmuck magnets with screws, 40 pounds plus heavy duty rare earth neodymium mounting magnets with holes. You know, the holes where you put the screw in and screw it in to mount. Countersunk round disc industrial magnets for wall mounting, 4-pack. You get 4 in the pack. So Neosmuk is spelled out Neosmuk, and neodymium is spelled out Neodymium. And then you just put the rest together and type it in Amazon, and that should pop up for you to purchase. It's only like less than $10 or something, but plus taxes and maybe shipping and handling. It'll increase a little bit more than that. But however, to get the steel plates, it's tie down, TIEDOWN, tie down 4-pack, 3 inches times 3 inches times 3/16 inches. I'm no good with dimensions. I'm just reading it as is, Steel plates, 7 gauge or gauge, A36 carbon steel, made in USA, weldable steel for mounting, bracing, and fabrication. And the fabrication part is what we're doing with the steel plates, is to fabricate. So what we need to do now is, this is how we use the steel plates for this stand. What you do is you place one right here, and the magnet will stick to it like this, and you just keep on doing this until each leg is mounted on these steel plates like that. And the next one will go on here like so. Try to get it in the center of it, and then when you stick the Nintendo Switch on it, it will not fall down. It will stay like that. It won't flip over because of the weight of the stand and the mount that the Nintendo Switch mounts to. It'll all stay perfectly without falling. Now, what does this have to do with the wired controller? Well, you need space and you need upward height for the wired controller to plug into the Nintendo Switch so you can use a controller with this makeshift stand. So now I'm going to get the controller. With the Nintendo Switch Lite, you're going to need an accessory to plug it into the Switch. First of all, the cord is compatible with the Nintendo Switch controller because it came with it. But I use a micro USB connector to connect into the controller, like so. But the USB port, the USB connector at the end, won't fit into the Nintendo Switch as long as you have this accessory here, a C port accessory with a USB female insertion. So you want to insert that female USB insertion into the USB, the male of the USB connector. You want to plug that in, and what you need to do is you plug in the C connector, the C cord, into the Nintendo Switch, the same place where you connect the power adapter at, and then you just mount it on like this. See, and you'll be able to use the controller. Now, to my perspective, I need to turn this around in order for it to play. So I'm going to turn it on. My battery life is 70%. That's good. And this is what you're going to need to do in order to play it. Okay, first you unplug it, and then if you can see on the video screen, I don't know how accurate this is. You push this through here, and this comes out like that. And what you do is you plug it in like so, like that, and you stand it on the stand like this. And then you can play your Nintendo Switch Lite with a controller on the stand. I don't know if there's any official stands for the Nintendo Switch Lite where the controller won't get into the way, out of the way. I never seen one like that before, but I created this one because I wanted to play a controller, a wired controller with a Nintendo Switch, whereas nothing gets in the way of the Nintendo Switch keep on falling off of the stand due to the wired controller. But I think this fixed the problem. That's what I want to do. So I play it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in your perspective so you can see it. And as I'll go over here so I can see what I'm doing. I can use a controller, play my game, and the stand works just fine. There's nothing that you have to do with the stand further than this. You play your game, go to my world, takes a moment or two. And it works just fine. What I'm doing in Minecraft is I'm creating a Federation starship. Get a closer view of it. There's a saucer section right here if you can see it. There's some of the rooms right here. But you get the idea. The stand works pretty good, so I think I explained this video very clearly. Also, let me get out of this game. Also, if you found something similar to where the Nintendo Switch lays on or stands on, let me unplug this right here. You can also see this right here. Adjusts. So if you have a smaller device, the bumps on it can rest on it depending on the size of your device. Or if you want it like middle length or higher length or smaller length, it'll be up to you and your device on how tall it is across, that when it leans on your stand. That is, if you have such an accessory for that type of part that you would have for it. So if if you want to put your stand up, but the metal plates are getting out of the way, what you can do is you can slide them off like that. Easy to slide off if you know what you're doing. And then you just unscrew this. Seems like it's working good. And then you can take your stand and put it in your bag or your case or whatever without it being bulky. Put the plates in there, this and that. But anyways, that how-to video should give you some ideas if you're doing a project similar to what I just explained to you and how I just described it to you and showed you how to do it. So I hope this gives you some idea on your projects and what you can do, and try to make a makeshift stand for your devices. So Matt's Amazing Mazes, signing off.